All right, so Trump says he spoke to Putin. They're trying to end this.
President Trump now says he has spoken with Russian President Vladimir Putin, trying to negotiate an end to the war in Ukraine. Speaking with reporters this afternoon on board Air Force One, the president avoided getting specific about the timing of that conversation, but said there would be more talks to come.
I know you don't want to tell us about your conversation with President Putin, but can you clarify whether you had that since you've been in office, or whether it happened before you became?
I've had it. Let's just say I've had it. And I expect to have many more conversations. We have to get that war ended. It's going to end. We have to get it ended. And we have to get it ended soon. Should have never happened. Would have never happened if I was president.
It wouldn't have happened if he was president.
Joining us now is Jill Doherty, CNN contributor, and previously she served as the network's Moscow bureau chief. She's also an adjunct professor at Georgetown University. Jill, it's great to have you here. And we're getting this new news just within the last hour. President Trump there saying he's spoken with President Putin and that there will be more conversations to come. I just want to get your reaction to that.
Well, he's not giving any details, so it's a little bit hard to see exactly what he's saying. And of course, you have to look at what the Kremlin is saying. And the spokesperson for Putin, Dmitry Peskov, said, well, there are a lot of contacts going on at various levels, and maybe I don't know everything that's going on, so I cannot either confirm or deny. So, this is very delicate, and even having contact could be, political and sensitive. So I think, we've got kind of a diplomatic game going on between the White House and the Kremlin, specifically between the president and Putin, all, pushing toward getting some type of at least ceasefire, maybe not a full resolution, which is extremely complicated, but some type of ceasefire in Ukraine.
Yeah, and the president also says he's likely to meet this week with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Between those three leaders, everybody's got their own agendas, obviously, and their own outcomes that they want. How do you see these negotiations playing out?
They're really, really complicated. I kind of look at it as that, part A would be the actual negotiations that eventually will take place that are very complex, very detailed, and could last for a long time. It could be a number of different agreements over a period of time. And then the other side of it, I think, is the interplay among these.
I hate to be this guy, but does he ever wear any type of formal clothing? Last time he was wearing a jacket. It is what it is. He said, look, I'm getting billions of dollars. What I need to wear a suit for?
Leaders, Trump, Putin, and Zelensky all have their own particular interests, geopolitical, political, and then, of course, just trying to get some type of resolution of this conflict. So, but I'd say, shorthand, Trump says he wants to end the war and also wants to look like a peacekeeper. He has tasked Keith Kellogg as his special representative to work out the details. Putin is not giving any indication that he really wants particularly to solve this. In fact, he frequently says, well, Zelensky, president of Ukraine, isn't really a legitimate leader anyway, so he wouldn't be able to sign any documents. And then, then you have President Zelensky saying, I'm ready to talk. And he has actually brought forward some ideas, especially with the rare earths metals that President Trump is talking about.
Yeah,
maybe we can chat about that too. But I think Zelensky is
trade-off for the money that we've given him. He wants some of their natural resources. I feel like that's only fair. It just sounds like, you feel me, whenever you do a contract, you got to have something that's collateral. Where's the collateral?
Ready to talk, but the details are very tough.
Yeah, yes, and I do want to talk about that. Let's get into the rare earth metals and kind of how that might be a factor in all of this.
Yeah, well, President Trump has brought it up. And as we've known for quite a long time, Ukraine has a very large stash of these, what are called rare earth metals and critical metals and things, titanium, et cetera, that are very important for a lot of what we do, computers, green technology, interestingly, and other things. So these are really valuable. And what President Trump is saying, let's do a deal with Ukraine Ukraine, we get access. We, the United States, get access of some type to those minerals. And the way Ukraine, and that is how we are paid back for the aid that we are giving militarily to Ukraine. And then Zelensky is saying, yes, that would be good. And I do think that this is one thing where Ukraine really could be very valuable to the United States in that particular area.
Yeah. All right, Jill Doherty, much more to come on this, but thank you.
I just want to understand, how is this just now being figured out? Like, of course, Zelensky's going to say, oh, yeah, let's do it, because he understands it's a new leadership and he wants to stay on good terms and keep receiving aid. If we could balance it out, let's balance it out. We already been winning. I don't know. I just don't understand how, I don't even want to put a time limit on it. Just all this time has gone by and no one has said, hey, they have a lot of things over there that we could use as well. Why don't we trade? As opposed to just giving them free aid. Like, dog, what?